What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I've been asked this question over and over again, and especially in the last few days, what's going on with redistricting and how is this going to impact the midterm election? So we're going to talk about this today. The Cook Political Report, they just put out some new information regarding redistricting. And so I'm going to show you on the Democratic side, on the Republican side, who still has the advantage? Is it Democrats or Republicans? We're going to take a look at all that in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's get right over to the information here. Now, this is coming from the Cook Political Report. And what I first want to bring your attention to is we're going to take a look at the top here. So this top bar, all of this right here, this is what we're going to be looking at. So we look at, if we go from left to right, you see it says Democrats, it says solid, that's 185, okay? And then likely, we have 11. And then lean Democrat, we have 12. Then toss-ups in the middle, we have 18. Lean Republican, we have 5. Likely Republican, we have 17. Solid Republican, we have 187. Okay, so if we were to take this number here and take all these numbers, so these three numbers here, 187, 17, and 5, that gives us 209. Now remember, when we're talking about who taking back control of the House, you need 218. So Republicans would have 209 there. Now, if we look at the Democratic side, and if we take just these numbers here, we have 185, we have 11, we have 12. That is 208. And so basically both parties are going to be fighting for this middle number here, 18, okay? So that 18, these are all toss-ups. Now, when we take a look at the toss-ups, what I want you to focus on are the colors. So blue, that means that it is a Democratic seat. Red, that means that it's a Republican seat. And some of these seats are open, but they were a Republican seat before. And so when we look at toss-ups, we see, zoom in here, Democrats, it says 4. Republicans, it says 14. And so what this tells us is that Republicans have more seats at risk than Democrats do when it comes to the toss-ups. Now, we've seen the latest polling. We're watching the special elections. We know that the wind is at Democrats' back. And so Democrats do have momentum right now. Even with all the redistricting going on, Democrats have momentum because right now Republicans are struggling because of the economy, because of the war. And remember, this midterm election, this is going to be a referendum on the president. So if the economy's not doing well, if we're at war in another country, all of these things, all of these factors are being looked at right now. And voters are saying, okay, you know what? Gas prices are high. What's going on with that? Food prices are high. We were made promises. These promises haven't been kept. We were told we weren't going to be starting any new wars and all that. So all of the stuff that's going on right now, this benefits Democrats. And then when you look historically speaking, usually the party out of power takes back power in that midterm election. So if you have a president who's a Republican, the opposition party usually takes that House back in the midterm election. And so that is what we're looking at. So just looking at, historically speaking, looking at what is currently going on. We don't have a good economy right now, and I think everyone would admit that. We're at war. So all of these different factors are playing a role in the numbers that we're seeing and the reason why we're seeing all of these toss-up seats. So let's go back here. So looking at these toss-up seats, as I stated, Republicans, we have 14. Democrats, you have 4. And so out of this number here, out of the toss-ups, Democrats need to win 10 of these seats. They need to win 10 seats. Republicans only need to win 9 of these seats. But as I stated, Republicans have a lot of seats that are at risk right now. And so they could lose some of these seats. And when you look at who has the momentum, Democrats have the momentum. And so if we had an election today, Democrats would probably win the bulk of these toss-up seats as a result of this. Now, it's not just toss-up seats. We can look at seats that lean for Democrats or lean for Republicans. We can look at seats that are likely going to go to Democrats are going to go to Republicans. Because remember, when we're talking about redistricting, what they're doing is they're drawing new lines and they're trying to incorporate, let's say you have, and this is just giving an example, let's say you have a Republican plus 17 district. And you say, I want to have two Republican seats. So I'm going to take that Democratic seat and I'm going to cut it up a little bit and maybe make that seat that is a Republican plus 17, make that maybe a Republican plus 10. And then the new district that I draw, make that a Republican plus 7. Well, that doesn't guarantee that Republicans are going to win both of those seats. And if we're looking at the special elections, and there was just an election in Michigan where you had, I think it was Senate District 35, where you had in 2024, Harris won that seat by less than 1%. And just a week ago, Green won that seat by 20%. And so if we're looking at districts, if you're drawing new lines, you can't guarantee that Republicans are going to win those districts. All you're doing is you're giving Republicans a better chance. But if we see a wave election, if Democrats are able, if they have that win at their back, they have the momentum, they could still win in some of those districts. And so right now we're assuming that Republicans are going to win all these districts. Just like in Texas, they said, Republicans are going to win 5 seats in Texas. That's not true. They might win 3. If they're lucky, because 2 of those districts, they drew new lines and they anticipated that the Hispanic vote would come out and vote for Republicans, but we've seen that the Hispanic vote is changing. The voter sentiment in Texas is changing. And Tallarico right now, in some of the latest polling, he's a Democrat. He's leading in a lot of the latest polling. And Cornyn is unpopular, and Paxton is unpopular, and they're running in the runoff together. So there's a very strong possibility that Tallarico might even win that Senate seat. And if Tallarico wins that Senate seat, we could see a wave of voters voting differently, not voting for the Republicans in some of these different House districts. And so redistricting doesn't guarantee the outcome. It just gives one party an advantage over another party, but it doesn't guarantee the voters are going to vote a certain way. And so back to the chart here, when we are looking at some of these seats, we can look here. You have the lean Democrat. You have a lot of Democratic seats here. You have a couple of Republican seats, but look at the lean Republican. You don't have that many that are leaning Republican. Either they're likely or they're solid. And that could actually benefit Republicans because they have less seats in the lean category and more seats in the likely category. And I think Cook Political Report said that there was an 11-seat kind of shift. Okay, that doesn't mean that, and it's shifting in the Republicans' direction. That doesn't mean that all those seats went from lean Republican to likely Republican, but some of those seats probably went from lean Republican to likely Republican, or likely Republican to solid Republican, or lean Democrat to actually toss up. Okay, so we could be seeing that going on. Now, I don't have the previous list to show you exactly what shifted, but it doesn't guarantee that Republicans will be able to win all of those seats. And I will tell you right now, they're not going to be able to win all of those seats. Some of those seats they won't be able to win. Even when we're looking at Florida, even when we're looking at some of these other states that are doing redistricting, they won't win all of those seats. Now, when it comes to Democrats, California, the way that they're drawing those lines, I mean, it's a blue state. The way they're drawing the lines, Democrats have a good shot of winning at all of those. And I showed, this was a few months ago, but I showed you kind of the breakdown there. And remember, what I'm basing this on is the momentum. What party has the momentum? If the Democrats have the momentum right now, then they're probably going to win more seats than they expect to win. And if Republicans have the momentum, then they'll win more seats than they're expected to win. But right now, just looking at everything, looking at special elections, looking at the primaries that we're watching right now, looking at the polling, looking at the prediction market, everything is indicating right now that Democrats do have the advantage, even though we're seeing all of the redistricting. And what I showed you here just gets to 218. You need 218 to take back control of the House. And so right now, if we're looking at all the numbers, yes, Democrats are at 208. Republicans are at 209. Republicans have less seats that they need 9 seats in order to get to 218. Democrats need 10 seats to get to 218. But Republicans have a lot of seats at risk in the toss-up category. And so I still say that Democrats have the advantage. They have less seats at risk when it comes to the toss-ups, and we'll just have to see how it all plays out. But now I want to pass it off to you. What do you guys think? Do you think Democrats will be able to take back the House in the midterm elections? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.